Hey guys, what's up? MadSeason here, back with another video for you. One of my main goals with all of the gold guides on this channel is to give you enough methods to be able to play this game for free via those WoW time tokens. On the US, they're currently hovering around 46,000 gold, and on the EU, they're around 87,000. I thought it may be a good idea to make a video showing you some things you can do to sort of guarantee being able to purchase these on a monthly basis. Pretty much the only realistic way to make gold that doesn't vary between servers or expansions is old raid farming. So for this video, I ran all of the raids from the Wrath of the Lich King, Cataclysm, and Mists of Pandaria expansions, recorded the amount of gold I got from them as well as the time it took to earn it, and I put these numbers into a spreadsheet to where depending on what region you're in and how many characters you have, you can set up sort of a plan of attack to run enough raids to where you can pay for these on a monthly basis. As you can see, it's pretty self-explanatory. The main column you want to be looking at here is column F, which is the total monthly gold per character. That is, how much gold you'll get by running this raid 4 times a month per character. So to use this, I'll do some example runs for you. For example, if you have 2 characters and you're in the US, like I mentioned, the US token is hovering around the 45,000 range right now as of this video. So you can run the first 5 raids in this list every week on both of your characters to barely earn enough gold for a token. But if you only have 1 character, you'll have to dip into the less efficient raids from the Wrath of the Lich King and Mists of Pandaria expansions. If you're on European servers and you have 3 characters, the token on EU servers is nearly 87,000 gold, and running the raids in rows 2 through 6 every week on each character only puts you a little over 70,000 gold. So you would instead need to run the raids in rows 2 through 8 every week on 2 characters, and then for your 3rd character, you would run raids 2 through 9. So that's the basic gist of things. I am aware that running old raids isn't the fastest way to earn gold these days, but they're unique in the sense that they're reliable. With a lot of current gold making methods, a major downside is that they can vary depending on what server you're on, or when you're actually watching the video. A gold making method that may be good now may be worthless next expansion or possibly even the next patch. The good thing about these raids is that they'll still be relevant if you're looking at this video at a later expansion, and they're quick and easy to run too for the most part. So they're good for beginner level players or for those of you who can't get a lot of playtime in. So like I said, I kept my raid running to these 3 expansions since they're really the only realistic ones in terms of raw gold versus time spent. These numbers are approximate. I did try to go as fast as I could, but there were some inefficiencies that I left in because they're going to be pretty common, I think. And also keep in mind that the gold loaded can vary a bit. I'd say a safe range would be a 20% deviation in either direction, so just try to keep an open mind with that. For all of the Wrath of the Lich King and Cataclysm raids, I ran it as an eye level 850-ish Unholy Death Knight, and for the Pandaria raids, I switched it up to an 860-ish Boomkin and Guardian Spec Druid. So if you have anything similar to that, you can expect some similar numbers in terms of time spent in these raids. Now you may have noticed that this list isn't strictly ordered by efficiency, and that's due to a lot of reasons. For this list I take into account the difficulty of the raid, how annoying it is to travel there, and so on. The gap after the trial of the Crusader represents what I believe to be a point to where you're better off leveling more characters and running the first 5 raids, rather than running numbers 8 through 14 on 1 character. As for the reasons why I have these as my top 5, first off, Cataclysm raids are just unbeatable in terms of efficiency. The amount of items you loot combined with the fact that it's a level 85 expansion makes them really appealing to run. They're also not too bad to travel to compared to some of the others. I also put in the Trial of the Crusader mainly because of how quick it is. You can run this place in 7 minutes, which is nothing. And you can teleport right to it if you have a certain tabard, which I'll go over later. So this order really isn't set in stone. You can change it however you want. The point of this video is just to plant the idea in your head and leave it up to your customization. Some things I should note is that if you don't mind using the auction house, you can put a little more value into Uldor, the Trial of the Crusader, and Icecrown Citadel from the Wrath of the Lich King expansion, and also the Throne of Thunder from the Mists of Pandaria expansion. The reason being is that these raids do drop some pretty expensive pets. These are needed for achievements and they're just highly sought after in general. They are pretty rare, but they can sell for an upwards of 10,000 gold depending on the pet, so they're nothing to dismiss. The list I made doesn't take these into account since, like I mentioned, I only want to focus on guaranteed gold. But if you don't mind visiting the auction house and trying to sell these, you should take that into account when creating your list. For the Cataclysm raids, you may also want to pick up some potions of treasure finding. These just give you some extra trade goods. All of the numbers in the spreadsheet aren't taking these into account since I just wanted to deal with raw gold. But I thought I should still bring them up for those of you willing to invest a little more gold and to deal with the auction house. Keep in mind that these only work with the Cataclysm raids though. Something else to note is that even at level 110, some of these Pandaria raids can still be pretty difficult. To maximize your gold, in general you should stick to 25-man mode since they drop more items, but that obviously has the side effect of making everything harder. In fact, if you look at the notes in the spreadsheet, you'll see that the numbers for the Heart of Fear are only up to the Amber Shaper boss, and the numbers for the Throne of Thunder are up to Darumu. These bosses are technically soloable if you have the gear and exceptional skill, but they're going to be roadblocks for most people, so that's where I cut those raids off. If those bosses aren't problems for you, you may want to update those numbers and the priority list accordingly. Also, I am actually working on solo guides for all of the Pandaria raids, so check the description for a playlist if you want to delve into them. And as a tip, for all of these raids, I do recommend picking up some bear tartar. This is a Legion level food that gives you a speed buff whenever you kill something. It's pretty cheap right now, and it helps out a ton, especially for the slower classes such as the Death Knight, so I highly recommend investing in that. And some travel tips to go out on. For the Cataclysm raids, you have a lot of portals you can use to get around the area. In Stormwind for Alliance or Orgrimmar for Horde, you have the portal to Mount Hyjal for the Firelands, the portal to Uldum for Dragon Soul, and the Twilight Highlands portal for the Bastion of Twilight. For all of the Wrath of the Lich King raids, you should utilize the Dragonblight portal located in the central area of the Broken Isles Dalaran, and another option is the Kirin Tor ring purchased from Harold Winston in the Northrend Dalaran jewelry shop. And in Northrend Dalaran, you can find a portal to the Caverns of Time in the Twilight Citadel, so that's a great way to get to Dragon Soul. For Trial of the Crusader specifically, you can pick up the Arkan Crusader's Tabard, which teleports you right to the tournament grounds. This is locked behind some dailies tied to this area, so it can be annoying to get, but it'll save you some time in the long run. I'll have a link to it in the description if you don't know how to get it. And lastly, for the Mists of Pandaria raids, you should have a portal to Pandaria near your Cataclysm portals in Stormwind or Orgrimmar. And there's also a portal to the Vale of Eternal Blossoms in your faction's area of the Broken Isles Dalaran. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, I know these raids aren't the most efficient in terms of gold farming, but I think they're still solid due to how consistent they are. The only thing that would change this would be if Blizzard were to directly nerf them, which I really don't foresee. They did nerf the Cataclysm raids at the start of the Legion expansion, but in return they brought up the Wrath of the Lich King and Pandaria raids, so they certainly support this style of gold making. That's all I have to say, I guess. I hope you found this video helpful. Give it a like if you liked it, and if you really liked it, let me know in the comments and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching, good luck, and peace.